What is going on, everyone? It's Ty here, and today I want to talk about some games I played in 2024, and honestly, what I kind of learned from them, from playing them, and what I mean by that is basically what I'm looking for either more and less of in 2025. So just getting right into it, basically, I didn't play a ton of games in 2024. 2024, frankly, wasn't like the best year for me, if I'm just being real. Um, I just didn't. A lot of things didn't go the way I wanted, but I honestly have a new spark of positivity, and dedication to what I love, and I'm just hoping that honestly one of the big things I want to do this year is just play more things, get more new experiences. So let me know if there's anything I should play based on what I say here, and I'll probably take a look into it. I'm always open to suggestions. Out of the way, the first game I want to talk about is Triforce Heroes. I finished Triforce Heroes with two of my other friends last year. I believe it was last year. It was really close to last year if it's not, but I'm counting it. Before the 3DS servers went down. I, we were finishing Triforce Heroes, and I'm a little conflicted still on how I feel about that game. Um, on one hand, the game is very fun, and the other hand is very frustrating. It's a little confusing, kind of what it wanted to do. If it really wanted to, like, it every time you finished a level in that game. If you don't know, first of all, Triforce Heroes Zelda game, 3 players, and every time you finish a level, you get a piece, like a material, and you could use those materials to craft different gear, and those gears would give you different like little like bonuses basically throughout the levels. But honestly, I don't know, it just didn't really feel too important, and it just kind of fell short. The levels themselves are very fun. Although they could also be very frustrating. It is a super co-op heavy focused game, and if you're able to get 2 other people with you to organize some, like, it requires like actual vocal communication. It is crazy to me that game does not have any voice chat. It was if you played it online with strangers, it was all sticker based. There is some puzzles that there is no way you could do without talking. I digress on that. That's neither here nor there. But I will say that with having now played Triforce Heroes, I am glad I got to experience it. It's a really cool Zelda puzzle game. I mean, Zelda's one of the big things about Zelda is the puzzles in it, and that's really the big focus here. It's like a bunch of like dungeons. It's basically Zelda without, like, pretty much just mainly the dungeon puzzles and some combat, and the bosses were probably the best part. Like the last one I thought was pretty creative, but it just kind of it's so I'm looking. I think I'm taking away from that. I'm looking for something with more, maybe some more puzzle focused things, co-op. Um, I'm not really sure what. I would love to do Four Sword. Well, I did play Four Swords. I would love another Four Swords style game, or something like this. I'm really surprised the Switch didn't have like a co-op Zelda game yet, like with the whole two Joy-Cons separate. Boom, 2 players. We got Four Swords. We got Triforce Heroes. Now we can have Duo Links. Chain links. One of the games I played the most towards the end of last year was The Binding of Isaac. The Binding of Isaac, it's a roguelite. I don't know. It's a roguelike. We'll just leave it at that. And it's a mix of a bullet hell and just like it's a punishing game kind of. It's just totally random. It's a lot of fun. Very like highly recommended. I'm pretty sure I put it on like Switch games to buy now, and it's just overall a really fun game. On PC, it also just got online co-op. That's one of the big reasons why I started playing more of it. And honestly, it's just really reignited my passion for roguelikes. Um, I just think the randomness of it all is really fun. You can get some really creative ideas going, and it really starts to make you actually think about what you're doing, trying to get the most broken runs as possible. All that fun stuff is just, it's just great. which led me to playing a little bit of Balatro towards the beginning of this year, and already in the end of last year. So I really enjoying that. Looking to probably try more of the Slay the Spire this year, and really maybe just get into more roguelikes. There's so many out there. One thing I kind of don't like about Isaac is just also the punishments, or there are items in the game that just kind of suck, and it is a little disappointing. And I think all roguelikes suck from that. It's not. I'm a little always conflicted how I feel. Should there be bad items? Like, you can't just have a godlike run every time you play one, but at the same time, there are just things that just totally are useless, and I don't get why they stay in these games. But with that being said, I think that is a very fun game, and I don't know. I am really happy the time spent on it. It can be super addicting, and I don't know. I try it for yourself. It's on everything aside from mobile. Yeah, go check it out. Another game I played a little bit of last year was Vampire Survivors. Now, Vampire Survivors did not come out last year, but there's some DLC. I still need to play the Castlevania DLC, but I did play. The main reason why I went back to it was because I've had the Among Us DLC on there for a while, and I was like, I gotta finally check it out. It is a very, also another addicting game. It's kind of a roguelike, or maybe it is a roguelike. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but it is a game. You only need two buttons, or really, you just need one button. You need the A button and a joystick. And it's just a simple little game you play as character. You just move around the screen. You collect these gems, level up, get items. And then these items combine into other items. And you just try to survive as long as you can. Try to do as much as possible. It's a huge. I love a game with a good grind. I don't like every game that has a grind, but a game that can kind of get me into a rhythm, get me feeling like I'm addicted to it, get me feeling like I'm part of the system in the game. I enjoy it. I think it's a fun like time to turn your brain off and just listen to some good music, see some flashy colors. I know it sounds really dumb, but it is fun. It is really fun. Check it out. The game's only like $5 as well, or if you're trying to really pinch those pennies right there, if it's on sale. But yeah, I went and played the Among Us DLC, and the amount of work that went into it is really fun, very charming, because I played a lot of Among Us during COVID. I think they did a really good job, and like you can unlock, even you can play as like the crewmates and imposter, and like they all have their own special items, and the map is based on one of the Among Us maps. I think it's called Polus. Could be wrong on the map name, but it's a lot of fun. If you get that, if you want the game and the DLC, it's like $6-7. There's also a Contra DLC I still need to play. Castlevania, I think I said that, and then there's like two like mainline expansions. Really excited to see what they do next. They've been teaming up with Konami, so I could see them maybe doing a Metal Gear one. That'd be crazy. If they are looking to do more indie games, I mean, Shovel Knight is right there. Shovel Knight does something with every indie game. It's only a matter of time. But that all being said, for this one, there's not a whole lot like take away what I felt about it. I know I like the grind of games, so I'm trying to maybe see like maybe get into more. And I know it's a weird stretch, but it'll tie into the next game as well. Just like maybe more RPG games, because I really want to get into those, and I know they have a grind, but sometimes it's hard after a day of work to sit down and invest yourself into this other world. And because I don't want to just this game is really easy after like a shift at work, because you can just turn your brain off and just do this like mindless grind. And while RPGs, sure, they might have like mindless grinds where you're just grinding for money and XP, but they have a story to them that this game does not, and I'm hoping I'm able to carve out some time to get myself immersed into more story-driven things, unlike Vampire Survivors that doesn't really have a story. Another game I played in 2024 is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. It is... I'm honestly really conflicted about this game. So me and a friend, he actually gifted it to me for my birthday. So terrible birthday present. No, I actually asked for it, I believe, and I did really want it. And got it too. We played together, and honestly, it was a lot of fun. Playing the game with someone else was fun. Working on things by myself and was not a lot of fun. It's definitely a co-op experience game, and I mean, the game goes on sale for like $5, $10 sometimes. It is worth it if you have friends to play it with. The story honestly wasn't terrible until the very end. I actually kind of enjoyed it. It's a cool concept with characters getting like mind controlled by Brainiac. I'm not really sure if I'm a fan of them connecting it to the whole Batman Arkhamverse games. I'm a really big fan of the first two. I have not played Arkham Knight, I think is the last one in the trilogy. I haven't played a ton of that one, but I loved City and I loved Arkham Asylum. And just seeing them introduce all these characters that have some have I don't even think some of them have been mentioned in the games, let alone they only have brief mentions in their game. So it's kind of weird just seeing like the Suicide Squad and Justice League. Well, Suicide Squad's not really formed, but the seeing the Justice League already formed and like all like there's just a ton of it just skips over a ton of stuff. And with I think the game now has already had its last content pushed out. Like I think this like the season they're on is either the last one or the next one's their last one. So I'm hoping they're able to tie it up and throw it in the trash. No, I'm hoping they're all able to tie it all together and maybe continue the Arkham story because I miss it. This game definitely suffers from being made in a time like when Destiny was the most popular game. Um, I think that Destiny and its grind cycle. This is what I was talking about with Vampire Survivors. It has a similar grind cycle. You kill enemies, get loot, do missions, kill enemies, get loot, do missions, kill enemies, get loot, do missions, and it is fun for a while. I don't think it's as engaging as Destiny was, and the gunplay they do make it engaging, but I and all the upgrades and stuff. I just still don't think like Destiny has some of the best gunplay I've ever had. And so as Doom and Destiny are like up there for me. I really don't know which one's better. I played a lot of both. I didn't play a lot of Destiny 2, but I played a lot of Destiny 1. And I think that the Suicide Squad game has some good ideas, but it falls short with the ending of the story being making it live service. The story just ends. It kind of just ends on like a stupid cliffhanger that it's like just sets up like, hey, we're doing expansions, and it just feels really unfinished because it was actually kind of a good story. I enjoyed it. I don't know. It's really unfortunate. With that being said, like my big takeaway is that I'm kind of over like live service games. And just also free to play. This game wasn't free to play, but it kind of feels free to play in the way that it was just gonna keep expanding is what their hopes were. I know there's like a big leak and like a while back, and a ton of this stuff isn't gonna come to fruition because they're stopping after either this content update or the next one. Um, so it's going to be interesting to see how it's wrapped up. Again, I can't remember if this is their last one or not. That shows how much I care. I mean, it's not that engaging of a game for 2 months, let alone a whole year's worth of content. It just isn't really much of a reason to come back. Um, but yeah, free to play games, just so many games nowadays are fighting for your time and your money. Like I don't really play much free to play games anymore. I tried a bit of Marvel Rivals. I mean, I enjoy it. I'll play with friends, but I'm not gonna sit there and grind it out. Like pretty much, I just play Fortnite. If I want to play a free to play game, that's pretty much what I do. You know, I don't really do any like Warzone or Roblox or just anything else that's like trying to fight for my attention all the time. Like every game has like battle passes. I can't do it. That's one of the things that also killed this game aside from the stupid cliffhanger. continuation live service. I'm just kind of done with it, which is another reason why I'm hoping to play games that are like more finished, like RPG games that have story. And sure, they might have DLC, but typically the games are finished. They'll have a set story that ends and doesn't rely on the game staying alive for a whole year. Speaking of finished games, probably the best game I played last year, Astro Bot. And I know that's such a generic answer, and honestly, I don't really care. It was a great game. Gave me a lot of nostalgia because I played a lot of Ape Escape. I don't want to say I played a lot of PS2. I played a lot of Ape Escape as a kid. Mainly like the first couple levels because I was a very little kid, but I was obsessed with Ape Escape. And I also was like, I played the party game a lot because that game was easier for me to understand at that age. But like I knew about the Sony environment. Like my family had a lot of PS2 games, and PS1 games, and I mean I definitely played on the PS3. So seeing all these callbacks to Sony's history and seeing their callbacks to the 5 games they made in the last 10 decades was great. No. Okay, in all seriousness, Astrobot does highlight Sony's problem as well. Like, it wasn't at times I thought I was just like, wow, there's highlighting the old stuff, but there's, although yes, obviously, if for the history of Sony, if you take a look at it, there is way more old IP than new, um, and I think that is not terrible necessarily. I think Sony could do a much better job at their output of what they're choosing to do. I hope they keep funding more projects like Astrobot, where it's these they don't need to be these quadruple A level budget games, or they need all this hyper realistic graphics, or even have a hyper realistic graphic game, but it doesn't need to feel like a movie. This game is just true fun. It gave me Mario like energy, and honestly, it just makes me want to play more short titles. And I know it's kind of the opposite of RPGs. A lot of RPGs are really long. This game proved not every game needs to be 20, 40, 60, 80 hours. This game could be beaten like 10. I mean, if you want to complete everything, like 15. 15, 20, which, I mean, you don't have to. I didn't 100% it. I don't really 100% a lot of games. If I 100% a game, that means I really, really liked it. That is the one thing about this game. A lot of people compare it to Mario Odyssey. It is not Mario Odyssey. It's way more linear. Mario Odyssey had a little bit of exploration, open world. This game is just like these short levels. It's more like Mario 3D World to me, which might be a hot take, but it's not Mario Odyssey. It's much more like 3D World, where it's these like open levels, but they're linear. They're linear at the end of the day. So yeah, Astrobot has given me a lot of hope for Sony to see. Hopefully, maybe they'll kind of just make more new projects like this. Take risks, because this was a risk. Being realistic here, if you're Sony and the last couple of games you've been making are pretty much either shooter games or these like story narrative focused games, doing something like Astrobot with very little story and it's a platformer, it's very different. It's not new territory for Sony, but hey, it is in the last 5 years of Sony, so good job, guys. You've made a good game. And no, it really is a good game. You got a PS5, play it. I would almost argue it's worth a PS5, just because on a PS5 you can also play a PS4's library, but with that all being said, thank you so much for watching. I'm hoping to have more uploads this year. If you liked what you see, leave a comment below. Tell me about what games you want to play this year. In 2025, I'm hoping to play RPG games and just, I don't know, just get more experiences. I feel like last year I didn't get to, I feel like I wasted last year, and I'm hoping in 2025 I can make a great 2025 and also make up for the lack of games I played in 2024. With that, I'll leave you with one message: play video games and subscribe. Peace out, everyone.